All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create pop-ups and link those pop-ups to different buttons on your website. All right, so first, let's go ahead and create a pop-up. What we're going to do is navigate to pop-ups over here on the top left-hand side, and we're going to click Add a Pop-up. All right, and you'll see that we've got a few different templates that we can choose from, but I'm going to go ahead and create one from scratch. And you'll notice as we build this out that anything you can do in the page designer, you can do when building a pop-up. So a pop-up is essentially like building out a block or a page on your website. All right, so let's go ahead and add some structure to this pop-up. Let's go ahead and add a row, and then let's go ahead and add another row with a couple columns. Okay, so now I've got my basic structure. Let's add some content. I'm going to add a heading, and let's make that heading say, grab the free ebook. And in this column, I'm going to add an opt-in form. So let's just find that. There we go. Opt-in form. And for this opt-in form, I also want to go ahead and add the first name. So we've got our first name and email being collected with that opt-in form. And on this side, I just want to add an image. So ideally an image of my little ebook, but we're just going to add an image of a dog. So animals, and let's look for a dog. And let's find one that's wearing glasses. Let's go with this little guy again. Okay, choose that, and let's change the size. Perfect. All right, I also just want to go ahead and center align that. Okay, so now I've created this pop-up. I also want to center align that button. So I'm going to come here to my opt-in form settings and look for my button. There we go. Edit that, center align that button, and there we go. You'll also notice, just as I'm here with the opt-in form, that we've got a bunch of different settings for it, and you'll see that it's got a redirect type, so you can choose it to have a message or a redirect. So you can say, yep, it's on its way, or you can redirect them to a different page. You can change the access, so once they've opted in here, then you can give them an access card that gives them access to a certain part of the website. You can add them to lists, so it pops off an email with the actual ebook in it. You can add them to programs, sequences, tags, etc. So those are some things that you can set up as automations within your opt-in form. Okay, but now back to our pop-ups. Okay, so we've got our pop-up. So now I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this pop-up editor. And I want to link that pop-up to a button. So we've got this section here, this Learn More button, and I'm going to add a redirect. And currently it is set to a URL type, but I want it to be a pop-up. And I'm going to select the new pop-up I just created. So that is that done. Now if I go into preview mode and I click that button, that pop-up is there for me. Now there are a few more settings in our pop-up here that we can go ahead and change. So you'll see that we've got the position, it's over the content, but we can also push the content if we want to. I definitely prefer when it's over the content. You can then also choose your alignment, so where on the page you would like it to show up. I'm going to say center. You can also add a trigger to this pop-up. So you can say, yes, I want it to have a trigger on this page, and it could be on the page load or on exit intent. When you have it set to page load, you can add a delay and how frequently you would like this pop-up to show up. I'm going to go ahead and say, no, I don't want any triggers for this. You can also edit the exit icon, so you can change it to be something else. You can change the color and you can change the size. You can also justify the alignment, so the start, the center, the end. This is going to apply if you change the overall size of your pop-up, and that's going to come in here. So we've got our margin and padding settings as always, and then we've got our minimum height and width. So you can go ahead and make this massive, and then if I come to my alignment, you'll see that I can move things around. So I can go ahead and make this massive and take up the whole page, or I can just leave it as is. We can also change the width to take up more of the width of the page. So if you want to make it a bar across your page, you can do that as well. You can also change the style. You can add a border, background, and shadow as always. You can also add an animation so that it comes in with a specific style. So you can have it fade in, bounce in, or zoom in, however you feel. So I'm not a big fan of the animations. They feel a bit not great for me, so I'm just going to leave it with no animations, but you can go and edit and customize those animations. Now, something else that you can do is create multiple pop-ups and have multiple pop-ups linked to different things on your page. So this pop-up doesn't have a specific trigger, but I could create a different pop-up that triggers on exit intent, while this pop-up is purely linked to that button. So let's go ahead and add another pop-up. And this time I'm just going to select one of these. Let's go ahead and choose that template. And you see, wait, we've got a surprise for you, 40% off. So let's just go ahead and change the image. I believe the image is, okay, cool. It's set to the background there. So let's go ahead and choose this one. There we go. And we can also go ahead and add some style settings to this. Let's go ahead and make that accurate to our styles. Okay, cool. Happy with that. Then we can come here to our pop-up settings. So let's just select our pop-up and come here to our trigger. Let's say yes. And I want this to trigger on exit intent. So when they go to exit, wait, we've got 40% off for you. So grab this deal. All right, so that is something else we can do. Now, another thing we want to be able to do is actually rename our pop-ups. All right, so now we've created two pop-ups, one that is linked to a button and one that triggers on our exit intent. Now, I want to go ahead and just rename these pop-ups quickly. And so to do that, I'm going to click on the three little dots. I'm going to hit rename, and I'm going to rename this pop-up to be exit intent 40%. I can't find my percent button. There it is. And this pop-up is going to be renamed to freebie. Now, to further manage your pop-ups, you can also duplicate them or delete them as you need to. So if I do want to delete a pop-up, it's going to confirm that I want to delete it, and I'm going to hit, yeah, confirm. So that is how you can create pop-ups in the system, and multiple different pop-ups can be linked to the same page. In the next video, we are going to start optimizing our pages for different devices. I'll see you there.